Yeah. Makes you want to moan this morning. Good morning. What's up? Welcome to another installment of Sunday Morning Worship with Rico. Whew. I know it's been a minute since my last sermon. Come on, somebody. And I thought this was a pretty important topic this morning. A lot of stuff has happened since the last time we spoke, right? Some of y'all are getting ready for your 9 o'clock service. Some of you might skip it. And skip it and go to 10 o'clock service or 11 o'clock service. Well, right now, let's check out this service. All right, look. I don't know if you haven't heard. I guess some story broke overnight that, well, let's go back and say, this is your man Rico. Welcome to Sunday morning service, Sunday morning worship. It's something I do periodically. I can't say I do every Sunday. Sometimes Sunday mornings deserve a pretty decent sermon. You hear me? So, like, share, and subscribe. Like, share, and subscribe, and check out the description boxes. Usually has some cool stuff in it. Specifically in my PDF formatted short story. It's about 57 pages, 53, something like that. It's called The Greatest Pain Ever Felt. Conversation with absent biological father who never wanted to be found. It's only $10. The City Boy in that Cash App, it's on there. $ Rico the Opinionist, or you probably could $ Rico Rivers, RIVERS. Probably could do that as well. Or if you know, just decide to hit your boy on the Cash App, please leave me an email address so I can email it to you directly. Or sometimes you may, hey, if you like this sermon this morning, put that $10 in the collection page. You hear me? So good morning, Pro Reacher. So, in case you've been living under a rock, a young lady, 25 years old, Carly Russell, came up missing about 2 days ago on the Alabama highway. Reportedly, according to reports, she was riding around. She had left dinner, so around 9:15, between 9:15 and 18, she called the police and reported on the highway that she saw a toddler, and she pulled over. And since then, pulled over to assist, I guess, to see what's going on. And next thing you know, she called a sister-in-law and told her what was going on, and she had dialed 911, I think, or she had called her sister-in-law. And next thing you know, you hear screaming, and you just hear screaming. And when the police showed up there, someone called the police, her wig, her cap, her Apple phone, and her car was still running with the keys in it. No sign of her. So we're just getting the news that she was found safe and alive. And so I put the story, one of the stories, in the description box. And of course, everything has been said, so I'm not going to, hold on a second, y'all. Look at this morning's damn flies. Everything's been said. As far as people's speculations, what's going on, where is she, and people who sent their prayers out, and they even had some video of the highway. And I said, damn, it was dark. It wasn't after 9 o'clock at night. And so there's so many takeaways from this story. And by the way, the story is still being fleshed out. It's still developing, because she's reportedly in an Alabama hospital for examination. So see what's going on with her. And of course, they'll probably try to get the full story from her about what's going on, what happened that night, what was really going on. Because believe it or not, there's some folks out there who are skeptical about her actually being kidnapped. So, you know, give it to about Wednesday. We'll get the full story of what's going on. You know, for her family, you know, friends, and just for the sake of this country itself. I'm glad she was found alive. There's a real emergency going on here. And, but I want to say this. When it goes to the choices that women make. And by the way, let me throw this in there. There's a black woman who's been detained in Dubai for the past couple of months. I don't know if y'all have read that story. Sherry, this sassy trucker, I think her name was Sherry. Well, all you gotta do is Google black woman detained in Dubai. Well, she allegedly was detained for arguing or speaking loud in public in Dubai. Y'all know that they don't play over there. So, and there's a story there. And I think she has to go to court. She's just been detained, passport taken away from her, and she locked up for breaking that law. Those Muslim countries or Arab countries or patriarchal countries, they don't play. Of course, it's a lot of conversation with that. I may talk more about that later. But I want to say this relates to the choices that women make in America. And I want to bring more specifically with, you know, African-American women. And when it comes to, you know, when women yell, black women are not protected, and of course all the statistics come up. Black women are often kidnapped and they're snatching black women. You know, there are some safeguards that women can do. Let me approach this from another perspective. You know, when something like this happens or is reported, you know, black women's blogosphere and a lot of respondents in these posts, a lot of black women come out. Black women are most unprotected. They're snatching black girls. Look at the statistics. The Federal Bureau of Investigation saying that black women are the most snatched and sex trafficked and all of these things. But, you know, choices like this, you know, when women want to say they're strong and bold and boss bitch and I don't need a man and all of this. Yes, I'm finna go there. Because you have to wonder, you know, young lady, and this is not shaming the victim. It's about talking about a larger concern when it comes to American women and specifically African-American women, because that's the group that yells the most about being unprotected. But you make these choices. And it also goes for me about femininity and masculine. See, a lot of American women have rejected femininity. They've rejected the notion of male guidance, male protection. And so when this is in your head, and by the way, this young woman's 25 years old, so I know that boss B and yes, hunty, I know that's real tough in these new millennials and Gen Z type young women out here, because it's all in the music, all in the movies. The feminists convinced their mothers that they didn't need a man, and they don't need a man to run their house. They don't need to be under guidance and protection of a man. So these are some of the things you get, because a lot of feminine, cooperative, sweet women don't be riding around at night by themselves. That's another thing. Women, they're not riding around at night by themselves on the highway or a regular street, 9 o'clock at night, 10 o'clock at night. Let's go back to the woman who was out 11 o'clock at night with her son, arguing with what turns out to be an abusive, emotional man. See, you can tell when there's no guidance or no covering of a man in the women's lives. A lot of them make these kind of choices. Their behavior is kind of off. Their sense of safety isn't that strong. Because when you've been masculinized as women, if you bought into the whole feminist narrative, we don't need a man, we don't need patriarchy, patriarchy is poisonous. Well, a lot of stuff like that happens. There's one thing about real grandmothers who are like 75 and up, you know, or 65 to 75. No, grandmothers, not these 40-year-old grandmas, these 50-year-old grandmas. We're talking about real grandmothers. They always talked about how your grandfather was there and made sure everybody was cared for, things like that. But a lot of these young sisters today, they're too tough for me, boss. They're too tough, and they're too tough for their own good. Even we'll go back to, there's so many examples of how them being tough works against them, and being feminist and strong. And of course, some feminists will see this. Well, a lot of black women have to be like that because the men aren't standing up to be leaders. A lot of men have left their family. All these excuses for not being a feminine woman. Do y'all think because you want to walk around with your fist ball that is that this is the first time? If let's say if there are men who quote unquote not there in the household and all of that, even feminine women, if that is the case, if you believe that men are not leaders or they're not standing up or whatever, it's like you would get in almost like protective mode, right? Now instead you go out and do opposite of what's in your favor. Am I blaming this young woman for anything? No, I don't know what's to blame. All I know is what is reported. When I read the story, it's like, what is she doing out at night? She was coming home from getting something to eat. So sisters, why aren't y'all cooking? All this stuff that women who are aware, who are self-aware and aware of their environment. You have women who are out late at night at gas stations, 10 o'clock at night, by themselves. It's not worth it, ladies. Because you can't make these masculine choices. Then when you get a negative consequence, you want to then lean on the men. I'm not saying it's not what she did, because we don't know what that situation's about. I'm just speaking in general about women, black women. I see all the tough stuff. I mean, we're talking about just out of control. You dare mention the man, you got 30 women. Well, it's like black men are this, black men are that. And they're not standing up, and they would stand up and protect their women. They didn't protect their women. But what you gonna do to protect yourself? Dr. Umar Johnson, you listening? You can't blame black men for women making these choices. They make choices on their own because they believe, they got it. They got this. And so things like this occur. I need sisters, hey, if you're not going to be a feminine, cooperative, fit, a sweet woman, at least be aware of your surroundings, because a lot of feminine women don't get caught up in a lot of foolishness like this. A lot of feminine, sweet, soft women don't get caught up in a lot of foolishness because they're under the covering of a man somewhere. Even, I'm going to say this again, say this so y'all can hear me. I said this about the lady in Chicago was fighting a little emotional dude that ended up getting killed. See, when a woman is feminine and nice and sweet, even a strange man will stand up to protect her. Did y'all know that? Even a stranger, not a strange man, but a stranger. Because it's something about when a woman is feminine and sweet and nice, it pulls at our masculinity. Now these beta male simp, beta boys raised by rough-ass single mamas, well, they do it just because she a woman, period. That ain't how it works. I know. What you mean, Rico? No, just because you're a woman, you automatically get protection? No, it don't work like that. Y'all gave that up in the 70s. Y'all decided to listen to Gloria Steinem and them white liberal feminist women. Y'all gave that up. No, I don't stand up or come to a woman's rescue just because she's female. Yeah, it's 2023. Now, she's an actual legitimate, sweet, feminine behaving woman that pulls at my masculinity. Got it? It brings out the protection in a man. It makes them want to protect something. So a lot of women are so tough. They so boss bitch. They so, ooh, I'm cussing in the sermon. That they don't want that they cheat themselves out of getting that protection that's naturally in every man. You know, if he's a masculine man who's in tune with his masculinity, no, he say, excuse me, brother. No, the lady said no, and it's cool, right, bro? And he knows how to handle that. But these Sukihanas and all these city girls and all these little Megan Thee Stallion tough chicks, guys are not running to their rescue. And so I just want to say this, ladies, you only shoot yourself in the foot when you deny or you flat out just ignore your feminine nature. It's not a weakness. I keep telling you, being a feminine, sweet woman is not a weakness. A feminine, sweet woman is the smartest woman of all the women in her group. Because even a feminine, sweet woman with 2 kids standing at the bus stop can get attention of a man to say, baby, where you going? It's not always a nefarious motive behind it either. See how you all right? You know, she's behaving as a lady. And that's the thing that's going to save women in this country. That's the thing that's going to save black women in our race. I mean, y'all around here just wilding out. And that woman in Dubai, that black woman in Dubai, thought she was in America when she was talking to that Arab guy, whatever he was in Dubai. He had to remind her, no, you in Dubai. You don't raise your voice over here. You don't talk crazy. You're like, what do you think I am? You must think I'm a black dude in America or some kind of beta white male in America. No, we don't play that in our country. The women bow down and bless this pimping. They retreat into their femininity and they get in line. These are those patriarchal countries. They don't seem to have a problem with a bunch of worldly, wild and out, retarded, loudmouth, debaucherous, Jezebelish women. And there's a time and place for her Jezebel spirit. It's called the nightclub or the strip club. But all out here in the public, twerking everywhere, on top of castles, sacred castles in Ghana, Africa, all in Walmart, on top of Pizza Hut. Come on, y'all. Y'all think that Jezebel spirit is taking over the country? It has. And I'm no prude, by the way. When I'm in the right spot, whatever, you know, if I'm in a night spot or a bunch of grown folks, twerk on, little mama, twerk on. But nobody wants to see you. And me, you know, I'm very specific, too. I'm terrible at my specificity. But I'd rather see just attractive women twerking. I don't like to see these old fat, tattooed up, ugly Sukihana types and Cajun rock type chicks. I don't like it. I like to see the little fine ones, the little pretty ones. You know, no tattoos on your butt and thighs. You know, no weave all in your head. If you're going to twerk, it's going to be a pretty little something to twerk. Not these old rough hustler, old school hustler magazine looking ass chicks. Man, that's just me. Even when you're twerking, I want you to be a sexy, feminine girl. You hear me? But these roughhouse and jail convict ass broads that's around here twerking everywhere. Yuck, yuck, yuck. Look like they need tetanus shots. I'll pass. But you know, so many of these beta male simps is raised by mothers only. They don't know the difference in the standards. All they know is, man, she bent over. That's all y'all know. No, I see everything. She's a cute little something. Twerk on, little mama, twerk on. Even as a stripper. I like fun to be feminine, sweet, sexy strippers. For real. I don't like these old hard, tattooed up, bought BBL, biker chicks dancing on the pole. You know, it's a difference. Some of y'all brothers, y'all ever gone to these white strip clubs? They have white girls, biracial, Latinas up in there, and notice the difference. And when you go to somewhere like an Ecstasy, or even in my hometown of Memphis back in the day, Pure Passion, the chicks look a lot different in the black strip clubs or the so-called multi-racial urban strip clubs. They still look like girls, and it's danced with like a sensuous thing. It's not that rough, tattooed up weave, peels, liquor pouring out her pores, twerking. Femininity, even in twerking. Yeah, that's such a thing. Cause I'm a man, baby, and I notice it. So I'm not going to belabor this. I want to say I'm glad the young woman is found, Carly Russell. I'm glad that you were found safe, and I look forward to hearing about what's really going on, what really happened. But I'll say it again, black women, you can't come out here and make yourselves victims, and then cry wolf. You can't do that. Behave. If you believe that you're not being protected, act like it. That means you'll carry yourself a little differently. You know, just rolling your eyes at black men, that's not protecting yourself. You're just being a bitch. Every black man you see, black women aren't protected around black men. And the news keeps they keep showing us how these white men are killing these chicks they beating on Bumble. But of course, there's not an outrage for some reason. In the last couple of years, white man after white man been meeting, black chicks been meeting white men off of Bumble and all these other dating sites, and they come up dead. But you ain't heard not one Shade Room comment, Madame Noir, none of them. Angela Yee, you ain't heard nobody talk about these white men killing these sisters. But every time I look around, black women are not safe around black men. Y'all know that shit is just tiresome. But that's the game, you know. Attack black dudes. Let's see what y'all talking about before I hang up. It said a toddler threw me off. Okay. Good morning, Kendra Montgomery. Shayna, good morning. Yusef, what's up? Yeah, so. But anyway, y'all. Y'all enjoy the rest of your Sunday. This has been your Sunday morning worship. Hit that collection plate. $ Rico the Opinionist. Stay tuned for another video. I have a couple of things I want to talk about this morning before the rain hits us. A little cooler too, man. You use that because 100 degrees 5 days in a row, shit. 14 days in a row. Whew. That's kind of tough. Oh, that's kind of tough on the humanity. All right, but anyway, y'all be cool. We'll speak again in the future. All right, peace.